Hey, this is Chris from eBoost Consulting. I'm the COO, manages operations here. My colleague Guy and I went to New York in June. We participated in the New York Tech Week, and I wanted to talk about what we have seen from the event that spanned across the entire city. It was also an opportunity for us to visit our clients and visit some of the people we know. I also had the opportunity to present at Innovation Norway as a mentor there as well. But New York Tech Week it's kind of like a tech conference for many founders and tech startups, and a lot of marketers and different agency businesses are there to discuss some of the latest and greatest about the technology, marketing, that sort of thing. So what's interesting is that the event occurred across different parts of the city, in New York and Manhattan. So we were able to kind of catch several sessions there, which is very interesting because a lot of the topic was revolved around AI and technology. I wanted to share some of the takeaways that I had just for you guys. To me, there was three things that I took away when it comes to the topic of AI and marketing. One is there's definitely a big shift in various businesses and roles and how AI is really influencing that, right? And a lot of businesses that I met was experiencing that, and they're saying the same thing about, hey, it's really impacting our hiring, investors' expectation, because they need to bake in AI in the roadmap in the coming months rather than a year. The search traffic has been impacted significantly. So AI is really putting a lot of impact into businesses. And I keep on, because maybe I sat in several marketing sessions, and AI is definitely impacting a lot of people's decision in how they use it and adopt it in their day-to-day work. And a lot of things came up consistently as a keyword, like storytelling. You got to understand pain points and build an authentic brand around it. It's really a way for businesses to differentiate, making sure you get to the core, to the truth, and be authentic. So it's really a way for marketers to really to say, yeah, it's important to continue to be yourself and make sure you're ahead of the AI in many ways when it comes to positioning your business. The interesting thing is I talked to many businesses, and a lot of them were concerned about the traffic impact from search, because as we all know, like the searches has moved, or a lot of the searches are now happening in AI search, like on ChatGPT, Gemini, what have you, right? Google AI mode. And a lot of businesses in media and SaaS companies, at least from what I discussed, they are seeing some big impact in traffic decline. So there's a lot of interest in topic around generative engine optimization, which relies a good amount of the audience and interactions, interactive content, good authoritative content that shows up in those AI overview, AI mode, search, what have you. But some of the details on data shared online, I believe it's Washington Journal. But if you look at some Business Insider, Washington Post, Washington Journals, a lot of businesses have been impacted by their search through AI. And when ChatGPT has taken off about 2 years ago, you're starting to see some traffic degradation or traffic referral from organic search. So some businesses have seen some 50% drop in traffic decline coming from Google. So it's a big concern for them because AI is now recommending brands or a website that used to promoted their business on the top of the search results, but now something else has replaced it. So so a lot of businesses are finding it's really important for them to build the brand consistently across all channels as well, because your presence online may not be limited to one channel. So more and more businesses are seriously thinking about, even B2B companies are seriously considering about how do you do well on social media, how to get attention, and how do you get AI to know that you're the authority in that space, so people could find you and understand what you do. So I thought that was really interesting. The second one is I sat in the content marketing related kind of session. There's this company that talks about how it's important to capitalize from emotion, people's emotion. What does your client talks about you? Better understand what the client's true pain points are, and leading to noise rather than trust. It's an important factor because when you're writing content, a lot of times content online was geared towards how do you get the search engine rank you higher so you can lead into the content first. But now there are tools out there that could actually curate information that could help you write to communicate your content. And how do you make that effective? You got to get very genuine into what resonates with people, and you need to instruct AI to really understand that. So there are companies like Adaptus, which, from my understanding, it's company that started as a kind of how to make UX more efficient, to make the communication of the UX design more efficiently. And over the course of years, has adopted the AI powered solution, and it's essentially writes content for you, but at the same time also recognize what kind of content it needs to understand from. And part of the trick that they're showing is when you curate information from like your client's voice of customer comments on social media, what they're talking about your solution, sometimes you pick up like cues like, oh, I like this feature, I hate this feature, that sort of thing. And you can use that information to level up your content that you put out on blogs or YouTube or social media. So this emotional insights that's gathered through AI, these tools, that authentic conversation leads to writing better content. And they have shown some examples where they have, when they did the social media posts, taken advantage of this emotion, the virality and people liking and commenting is actually much higher. So tools like this Adaptus was very interesting to see how they're using AI to capitalize from the emotions of conversation that's happening online. That led me to think, hey, when we're seeing ChatGPT 5.0, a lot of people are complaining because a lot of people, I guess, ironically or strangely, fell in love with the ChatGPT 4.0, where the personality has resonated, or as a matter of fact, they're probably communicating with them as if they're like your significant others. And when the ChatGPT 5.0 came out, as we all know, like there were some backlashes because, hey, the person I was communicating, the personality changed or something. Fair enough that the models probably changed and adapted a lot based on the new versions within whatever changes they have made. So Sam Altman had to kind of roll back, or not roll back, but rather kind of enable like 4.0 again as an option. So the point here is that when we talk about emotion content, emotionally, how to emotionally connect people with your content, we're at a stage where AI can actually reprogram content with specific perspectives. So it could actually recognize what resonates with you, or you could actually conversate and get back to your questions, also while taking an understanding and understand like some of the emotional nuances of people. And otherwise, it wouldn't have persuade somebody to fall in love with the AI, if you will. It's kind of weird, but especially if you're writing content that's curated or even taking advantage of this conversation, you could see it as a 0% plagiarism. You're actually using the feedback from to your content or your social media and really capitalizing from it rather than plagiarizing, just copy and pasting it. So taking the nuances from that is actually makes your content a lot more authentic, original, and it helps connect with the people. So I thought that the whole aspect was really interesting, and AI enables you to speed up the process and generate a lot more volume in a unique way as well. There's going to be abundance of content. While if you're smart about it, you can actually make it more resonating and more meaningful to people who actually read it. And in matter of fact, you could maybe possibly create like a agentic AI where, in a real time basis, recognize that the feedback, and then maybe you could build something that responds to that in a timely and more meaningful fashion. So the capabilities is enormously moving fast and optimized against these in the age of AI. Now, the other session, many sessions that I sat from the marketing side, I saw a lot of brand marketers and communications experts. And the premise of that discussion is a lot of times really about storytelling and content, right? How do you tell this brand messaging and tell your brand a better story and resonate with your audience? And especially the many marketers, especially as startup tech entrepreneurs, are highly interested in organic social media because they say it's a potential high ROI channel because you're not spending money on it, and instead you're probably spending like your resource to create content or something engaging. Yeah, so more and more startups are really looking at organic social as a means to capture leads or businesses at a very effective, as an effective channel. And some marketers are saying that. In fact, I believe this is true, but more content on social media, the algorithm is actually helping find the audience who's actually resonates with the content they wrote. Meaning, we're not in the Asian days where we actually require like large followers and understand who's this content going to reach and how to reach them, but rather the algorithm decide who who resonate with this content. So they're gonna expose that content to the people who's actually gonna find it meaningful. So the algorithm, first algorithm driven, how to say, demand gen or lead gen is gonna be very interesting because it's gonna be less about getting followers on your channel, but how do you add content that generates to the audience that you want to bring in. So the whole mentality around building good content is actually very important, and a lot of marketers are already talking about that. And also interesting to see that many agencies, many marketers are starting to build their own AI integrated capabilities. Like internally using AI to build reports or analyze reports or generate analyze data, using it for sales operations, marketing ops, that sort of thing. Automate, not just automation, but helping them make better, faster decision in volume. So a lot of the capabilities are bringing in house now, and more marketers are capitalizing that ability to build something in house. So I thought that was really interesting. There's also a growing awareness among technical marketers. I came across many people when I asked them about, hey, what do you think about the data? iOS 26, they're putting out a lot more privacy, potentially losing a lot of tracking stuff on the marketing side. And surprisingly, a lot of marketers are aware that privacy data degradation is already happening. And some of the technology savvy, techie savvy marketers are really understanding what needs to be required in the server side deployment for the tag management. Meaning, what's happening on the browser side is the data is just degrading fast, and more businesses are recognizing how important it is to capitalize from your first party data, because a lot of third party attribution tools becoming less reliable. So more and more companies are relying on these tools that enables you with the server side tracking in a more seamless and robust way. So bigger enterprise with bigger budget, bigger, more complex backend systems like are probably leveraging consultants and agencies like us. But smaller players are using like a native integration through some Shopify app, really turnkey solutions out there that enables you to do that. So yeah, I was really surprised to see a lot of marketers are really kind of already taking notice of these things. Yeah, I have a few more, two more slides, I believe, but I thought it was interesting because the tech, New York Tech Weeks a lot of the times is designed for startup founders, and also what I'm seeing in this set of things is that more and more people are asking where to prioritize resource and money. Where do we need to deploy that? So some of the companies we're seeing that traffic being impacted by search through AI search are the board members are really challenging them with, hey, you got to bring a better roadmap. The speed with speed, they don't have the appetite to see that plan on a year or 2 year basis, but rather what are you going to do in the next few months? So there's somewhat of an urgency and how to say they're freaking out, if you will, for the ones who's lost a lot of traffic and business are shaking up. Those entrepreneurs are really kind of finding some challenges right now during this AI age of AI. Entrepreneurs, they see digital marketing with, especially the ones who are actually banking a lot of the acquisitions to Meta and Google. They do realize a lot of the success is determined by how you control the risks through data, process, and people. It's like how to best get the data to avoid garbage in, garbage out situation to the AI. So how to bring the best data you could actually bring into the platform, so it could help you make better decision and do targeting and stuff like that. And obviously, when you do that, you do need people. You need the right process to kind of facilitate that. If you have people who just don't know anything about data or don't know anything about marketing technology stack, you're just gonna just hang there in code. And obviously, just knowing that doesn't help. You need to be able to process it and you need to have the right operation to iterate on that success. So I think a lot of businesses that I met are aware of these things and actually are taking account of that. There might be some discussion around there how resources impacted by AI, but people are always thinking about how they can actually be more effective in this age of AI as well. So you could be losing jobs here and there, or they could be gaining jobs here and there. So it's really hard to say at this point. The second point here is that when businesses think about the where they need to prioritize, they are certainly prioritizing social media channel where they have to invest to get attention from the market to kind of get their leads or understand what they do. But as social media, a lot of times the algorithm changes. It might get bought out. Mid government might shut it down or even ban from using it. So there's a lot of noise there sometimes, and it's very risky for businesses a lot of times put everything in one basket, if you will. But what we all know is that websites is still continue to be an integral part of marketing because it's a place where you can get first party data. Email sounds to be still meaningful. People still read and use emails. And really, how to say, the website just needs to be optimized for both AI and humans as well. What I mean by that is, as the property to kind of get attention within organic search or even social media, it's going to flip through fast, like shorts videos. SERP, it's going to have a very small space where they're going to recommend. So when you think about how they're actually recommending you, it's really about your authority. So what do you do? How do you do it? Why you do it? Where to contact you? All the information is going to be in your own media, legit data, legit source, and making sure that your website tied to your name, your people, your organization, your contact info, the books you write, the YouTube channel, all that stuff needs to create a halo, or not a halo effect, but rather rapport and connection around synergy, if you will, around these kind of digital channel and properties that AI, search, internet can actually find you, knowing that these things are you in your business. Okay, yeah. And repurposing content for prospect conversations is actually important too. As you are writing things on your blogs, social media posts, providing video like this, it's very effective, low budget lead generation strategy. Even though you're putting a lot of time making this stuff, it's still going to be a channel that's important, so that in order to scale and put the right content in there, it's important to kind of repurpose some good information out there. Even if your own content, it's not just one, put it out once, but how do you repurpose that content so you actually chop it down to like a few seconds for a shorts video? How do we repurpose using AI to create a better communication strategy by repurposing that in social media and YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever that's meaningful for your channel, LinkedIn? It's not just, hey, I need to post in 10 different places, so create 10 different content. Maybe you're creating a long form format, you're actually chopping it up to repurpose in different channels. And more businesses are streamlining that process using AI and bringing more scalability to their process. Lastly, and connecting with consumer community, it's very important. At the end of the day, in the age of AI, we all value human connection, people to people, and there's a lot of value there. I was at the European Tech Rooftop event, and a lot of European counselors were there with their kind of startups from their country. They had a 60-second pitch from each companies, and then after that, there was a drinking session on the rooftop. Yeah, people still value like face-to-face conversation, networking, and you can see this as a low budget marketing tool. If you're invited to there or even pay a small dollars to get in, exchange business cards and that sort of thing, it's still very valuable, ironically, in the age of AI. And these partnerships or a relationship that you build are still an excellent way to drive awareness, engagement, and reach new audiences, possibly new clients and stuff like that. And I think founders should continue to lean into these connections and truly understand the audience, get feedback, and fuel the marketing efforts that you need to build, plan, and execute on. Yeah, and I think even though online is a big part of our life, we should continue to look into such real offline kind of events and connections. Yeah. Anyways, that was my kind of like takeaways from and insights from the New York Tech Week New York in June. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know if you have any questions, comments. Thank you.